Hey everyone, welcome back to Transport Fever 2 and welcome back to Errors and welcome to Highlands Fishing with the recent announcement of Highlands Fishing for Farming Simulator. I thought it'd be cool to try to recreate some of the fishing pens that it has introduced for that game in Transport Fever 2. As you can see, I already got inspiration for this from the Transport Fever 3 trailer, cinematic trailer that came out like 6 months ago, using some of these beautiful Ingo assets to make these beautiful fish farms. As you can see, we've got fish in the water and these beautiful pans and docks. And what I want to do is repeat this up north. This is way down south in our map. This is the Errors map. Welcome to the series if you haven't seen an episode before. In the last couple of episodes, we have been making this key, and my plan is to bring some fishing boats into here and start a new fish trade. Unlike the one down south, I do want to actually treat this different. So the one down south, if we look at the production chain, we're using the industry expanded mod, and I'll turn some graphics on here. What happens is the fish come across from the farm, and then we've got this fabricated fish and chip shop that is using the fish and some paper over from our lovely paper mill, which we custom made over here. And we then output food. We already have a lot of food on the network, and I don't want to repeat that. So instead of doing that production chain, my plan is to kind of think forward into more the diesel and electric era, where we have much more industrial stuff. And the plan is to make a canning factory. So instead of the production chain being fish, paper, then turning, wrapping them up and turning it into food, the plan is to join the fish and some metal together, and we're going to make a cannery. And so the other side will be a special new product. And so I'm actually going to start with the end product, and then we'll do the fishing over there. Plan is to use this. We have to be careful. So this dock actually is this little slither here. So you can see this little bit of a graphics difference. This is actually what we need to connect to, and I don't know if it actually connects to our road network right now. I'm going to press, I have developer mode turned on, which lets me press right Alt and L for lines, and you can see there's no line between that element and the road. So what I'm going to do is we'll start with that. We might have to move that. Actually, I'm pretty sure we will have to move that signal box. It didn't look that great anyway. And am I okay with that being a domestic road? It probably shouldn't be. That probably should be more industrial. Let's change this one to the highway, and then I'm going to come out this way, and hopefully, that did not make a tendril. So I don't think there's no configuration stuff here. So I don't know how this is going to connect. Maybe these two snapping together was enough. There is this inferred line across here. So we're going to find out. But I'm going to put the canning factory right here on the corner. And we will put in something. So the goal is to, we're going to have two things. And let's run it at 100. And two things. So it will be three. So if you do the one, it's like an in or an out, so it produces it or consumes it. This one translates one thing into one thing. We want industry 3, so 2 ins will make an out. So we will be receiving a fish, which is the bulk of it, and then we will be receiving metal. Looking for it. Try that again. I struggle to find. Where is it? Is it steel? Am I looking for the wrong word? Yeah, it's steel. I was looking for the wrong word. I'm tempted to bring more fish in than metal here, because the fish is going to go into these cans. So let's bring in 2 fish for every 1 metal, and then that will produce two things. And I'm going to the gray pad is where it's going to spawn the final product. And so I'm quite happy with that. If I'm going to hold down C, you can see how that in the middle it's going down. I'm just going to hold down C so it comes level to the ground. And I'm going to dock that right there on the corner, and that's going to be our in and out point realistically. And then I want to attach a canning factory to that. So under assets, we have this industry mod, and we're just going to look something that looks like a canning factory. I actually just visited a canning factory just last week on a visit to Canada in Vancouver. It's kind of near the Vancouver International Airport. And there's an old cannery there for salmon. And so it wasn't the biggest building, so it doesn't need to be super big. The salmon is cut up and put into cans, and then the cans are steamed or put into a pressure, like an oven type thing. So we need something that is a little bit, this one's actually pretty good, a little bit industrial, but it doesn't need like massive, tanks and stuff like that, or a railway line. These are all too big. That's a little bit too techy. This is not bad. This is more schooly though than I'm reading school vibes, or accountant in that one. How about this one? We use this for the apple cider factory, so let's not use it again. That's too industrial, too fancy, too pipey. This one's not bad. So you got the chimneys for the fire. Yeah, I'm okay with that, and it actually fits there quite nicely. So let's put that right there. And you can kind of like see that the entrance is through there. Now this is just purely a facade thing. It doesn't actually have any real purpose, but I think that looks pretty good. And then I am going to give it another storage place? So we've got one over here and one over here. I don't know see, that's not lighting up anybody. So they reach, but that doesn't reach anything. So yeah, so if we want to drop off and deliver stuff, we are going to need something a bit closer, because it's just too far to reach over there. So yeah, let's extend that road. I think we can go over there for now, and we'll just dump another one there. Let's dump it at the back. Actually, through here I like it, because it's the idea of easy access from the boats. So yeah, let's put that one through there. And we'll need this one and our traditional one. Let's go pretty big. We'll go like 60, narrow. We'll give it 2. And it's going to be country vanilla, blah, 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 15. We'll give it a wall, a bit more secure. And high capacity and footpath connection, so it all clicks. And then voila. So that's going to be that. Actually, you know what? I'm tempted to put it over here, because the door's here and the drop-off's here. Let's turn the wall off, and let's put that right there instead. And I'm going to put it up right up against that. So now, if I click on that, I believe that should be, you can see how that goes white there. That means it's in range. And if we look at the lines, L again, you can see that all those tendrils are coming in and touching things. If you look at last episode and this episode's description, there is a link to the save game. And so for the save game, I fixed a couple of things. And one of the things I did fix was there was the main line through here. It did come across here each time and went into the dock. And the train was too big. And so now I very quickly just tacked on a track on the left-hand side here and made a new line. And that new line is just a little shuttle train that goes from here across here and comes into the dock and squirrels all the way to the back side. So it's just got this simple train on it, this little pannier tank. So get rid of all these graphics so we don't have these overlays. And yeah, very simple train. And a couple of box cars, a couple of flat cars. The flat cars let you deliver bricks, which is important. And so, yeah, those guys are the cargo lifeblood of this area. Importantly, if we do make stuff, actually, why did that go coffee? If we do make stuff, it'll backhaul that way. Talking of stuff, let's fix this. So, I don't know why I chose coffee. So, configure. What's happening is 2 fish are coming in, and we'll have 1 steel. And then the output will be, and what I'm going to do is actually make machines. So it's a nice round icon. The other one that I thought I might do is tools, because we don't have any of them yet, but that's not really, that doesn't look like a can to me. There is mods out there that would allow me to actually do it as a can, but I didn't want to install that many mods for that reason. But as you can see, 2 fish come in and 1 steel, and then that will produce machines. Why is it the rate? Oh, rate is 2. Oh, this is B, so that's that option there, so that was irrelevant. So we're going to use 2 fish and 1 steel. It will produce 2 of those, and so you can see there, yeah. So basically, each fish goes into a can, and we're not using that much steel for the can. So I think that's going to be a really fun thing. For now, it's not actually going to achieve anything because we don't have steel on the map, but we can deliver the fish. So we'll call this the Glenlow Cannery, and we'll also give this one Glenlow Cannery. And yeah, we need to get our fish delivered, and so hopefully we should be able to deliver it into this port. Let's go nice and close. So I'm going to get rid of this ship asset. Didn't really need to have that. I just put that there for thumbnail reasons. And yeah, and so before we go any further, I do want to do a little micro amount of detail. Let's get some fences done. So this fence is roughly that size, isn't it? Yep, we'll stick with the solid, and we'll do, I'm not going to turn height adjustment on. I want actually, everything around here should be level, so I want to keep it like that, and like that. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So there'll be all this storage stuff here. And then let's dump in some cars and stuff. So we'll have some trucks hanging around. And let's do these nice blue ones. And so I'm just going to maybe rotate these up to the door. It's like these guys are getting loaded. And that looks pretty good. And that guy can sit there. We should have some people's cars. I don't really have a place for them to park as a worker. What I might do is actually use this front bit here. Ooh, that fence is terrible. I got that completely wrong. So let's quickly fix that and make that flat. Well, not flat, like parallel to the road. Not sure why I did that. Yeah, that's better. And then what we'll do is we'll paint the road. So it's going to be, what's that texture? I think that's that one. That one? Nope. You know what? I actually like that texture. So let's overwrite everything here, and we'll go with the cracked effect, and that's going to match over here as well. Yeah, that's nice. And then we will park some people's cars. These are the workers, and so let's that person can go there. Let's go random colors, random old timer, let's say. And actually, you know what? Let's go newer models and prepare this for the future. This person's backing the car in. And I think that's cool for now. So that's all the workers. And yeah, that looks pretty cool, pretty basic, but it will work. All right, well, let's get our fishing industry done. Plans to put it over here. Unlike before, the plan is to put it in the ocean, but the problem with that is these assets things, these things want to be very tricky. So the fish thing, when it joins to the dock, it needs to touch, and actually the tendril, if we look at the L, the tendril is right here. It's at the end of the dock, so it's not at the pier, it's back here. So when we place it, we have to make sure that those two match up correctly. So let's see if we can get one out in the middle of the ocean, much like Farming Simulator supports, and see how it goes. I think the best thing to do is just start with the dock. I don't want to go too far, so maybe here where it's a bit of a shoal, or maybe right here on the corner. We could go way over here, but the question is, if you're going to do that, why wouldn't you just truck it over land? Let's go over here. I'm going to probably use this corner here. let's see if we can get something down. So Ingo has this one, the cargo ports. Now normally it's like this very boring concrete type thing, and we've used this before, but there is these jetty ones. So if we do the large one, you get a passenger and a cargo one. So if we turn off, yeah. So I was aiming an R in there. The industry is going to have employees, so we might as well have a passenger station, much like the other one. That way, we can, we can have people coming out here to work. So let's make it so that they're coming in roughly the right direction. Ships always work on a 45 degrees. So it's either up, down, left, right, or 45 degrees. So you want to keep everything on that angle. So I'm going to go out here in the water. You can see how we got the passenger and the cargo. And let's get this thing done first. So this is going to be an output. We'll run it at 100. And we'll give it 20 employees. It's going to make fish. The stockpile is kind of irrelevant. And then you can see how that next to the dock here, see how we get a line? That is the tendril. I'm going to hold C to stop snapping, and then I'm going to put this under the water, and hopefully I'm seeing tendrils there. Hopefully that will still link up. I do see a deformation there, which is great, and I think, yep, there it is. See that purple? And it goes straight down rather than sideways. Actually, that was very lucky that I put it exactly underneath. So we're gonna have to put up with that little bit of land, but I think that's pretty good. So this can be the Grenlow, we should call it the Highland Fishing, but fish farm, I think is the word for it. And yeah, let's get, let's get some diorama done, but no, let's get get a line done, make sure that it's working, make sure it's all connected. So we're going to go from here, the origin, and then this is going to be the Glenlow Fish Farm. Stop knocking the microphone donut. And we're going to come over here. And as you're going to see, it's going to be a very wonky. So this asset doesn't make exclusion zones, so we're going to have to play with that a little bit. Let's give it just a straight blue color so when it's on the water. Let me keep that open for a sec. And what I am going to do is just make sure that from a height point of view, I haven't made the land look like it's bigger than it is, because it could be that underneath the dock I hollowed it all out, and so I'm just gonna do that. Did that change it? Yes. See, there was, it thought that the water was over there, and we'll do the same thing on this side. So let's make this a little bit smaller, and from the row level, we'll pull this out a bit. Actually, we'll do that all around here. And so I think that will give us a port. There's our train going. Give us a port that is a little bit better. So yeah, we're kind of close. On the way out, it's good. So I actually like the on the way out. I think I'm going to leave that alone. What I want to do is move this one across. That's what waypoints are for. So be careful with waypoints. Waypoints is the average of a direction. So if I put this here, because it's coming in this direction, it's going to average its way through. It won't necessarily become in at that angle. So basically, it's going to come across here and around. And so you want to average what it is. That way you'll get an arc. So I'm going to put it out here about there. And I think that should be enough. What I might do is in here, I might be able to put one. Yeah, it's a long way in. We'll see how I go for that. And then when it comes to over here, I think I might just leave that the way it is. Yeah, I think I'll just leave that the way it is for now. All right, manage the line. So when you're coming from the fish farm, I want you to come in a little bit wider And there we go. So that's pretty good. I would like them to be a bit more to the left. As I said, it's averaging out the curve. And so let's see if we can do a build anyway. I'm going to kind of make this a little bit more pointing towards the dock. Actually, maybe not, because that way I can choose anything in the future. I'm going to just build anyway, and then manage the line. And yeah, so you see how it caused that? There's a natural grid that the boat wants to go on. I don't know if we can force it across enough. I know for now, good enough. We actually, no, I was going to say good enough, but no, it's not. Let's try one more time. If this doesn't work, I'll give up. Yeah, so it wants to go over there for some stupid reason. Yeah, maybe. All right, one more time. I wasn't going to do this many times. If I do it there, maybe I need to be a bit closer. There we go. Worked it out. Okay, so this side's got a bit wonky now. So let's. Am I pressing wrong buttons? Let's do this again, and then on the way out, these people can do that, and so the line outside the dock. Yeah, that works. That works. I am happy with that. All right, let's put a shipyard in here. I think it'd be kind of cool for it to be associated with this. Might be able to pull out some of this land and give them some space. So I'm actually going to bring this out. And it was kind of out anyway. So we'll pull this out. All right, I've been playing with this for a while. The game is a little bit tricky when it comes to getting this down, but just by making a nice little square pad here and space in front of it, it seems to have made it happy. So now I can just simply choose it and put it there. I am going to cause rotation by holding C. We'll keep it on the grid. And I do want to make this edge, because it's got like a nice railing, I do want to make it look like it's next to the water. And wherever it's happy with it having to do build anyway. And there we go. So yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And I'm happy with the way that's turned up. That's the wrong way. And yeah, I think that's looks pretty good. We need to get a road across. So I'm actually going to extend this road. So we'll go across here. And I think I'll stay level around here. And then we'll build up to the train line. Go across. Actually, is that 90 degrees? That does not look like it's at 90 degrees. Terrible. Let's go this way instead. So if we go this way, too much slope, build anyway. So where's the slope? Yeah, over here. So it looks like the train track is up a little bit. So we can fix that pretty easily by doing that. Go across level. You know what? This road can be a little bit more simple. And, you know, bulldoze that. And then this can go down to the grade of this, which is about that. And we now have a pretty good little diorama. I am going to use... How am I going to do this? How am I going to make a little car park? I'm just going to paint it old school. So let's find a nice color here. And we will fuzzy this edge here where it's got all shoaly. And we'll put down some trucks and stuff like we did before. And turn off random. So random colors of trucks. And then we'll put down some cars. And that will do for now. And then we'll do some, as in, that'll do for now for that, as in for the cars. And then we'll just quickly put in some some fences to make it look like somehow this is official for some reason. And then under here, under ships, where is a tiny little ship? For some reason, yeah. Do we want to have something like that? What's the smallest ship we've got? That's huge. You know what? That can go there. And do we have anything small? Yeah, we've got this little thing. You know what? Yeah, this is what this could have been. What I might do is get rid of the fence. And we'll put in that ship again. And then it's like they're, that's in dry dock for some reason. And you know what? I should be using these maritime fences. Yeah, let's use those. Don't target. You need to be putting some ships on the line and getting this fish industry up and running. I know. I'll get there. Yeah, I think that looks good. And then, okay, let's go to that texture instead. That's kind of cool. How low in the ground did I do this? Probably what I should have done. I did this in the previous series. I put it on trestles, and so here under scaffolding trestle, this one. So yeah, let's make these huge. Done. And then some very quick step ladders. So helps people get up there. So that's people maintaining those things, and somehow there is a story around the way that they do their work day to day. And we will put in, yeah, a pretty simple fence over here. And I think I will finish this off. No, I won't finish it off because it doesn't explain how you get out. And you know what? That will do. And then from this point of view, this can just be a little sign saying, hey, be careful. Hey, guy. Nice. All right, that's a nice little fishing area. I like it. I think it looks pretty cool. All right, let's get some ships on the line. I'm just going to do the riggy because it's the cheapest. It takes fish. Let's start with, I don't know, 5. And it's going to go on line 1. Hopefully. Yep, you believe you are on the water. Back there's not on water. We actually, while it's open, let's do a quick micro fix inside. Yeah. Nice. Now in theory, because we've got something on the line, over here, this guy should say the cannery is consuming it. It's at 100. So what's the rate of the line? So we should click on this. Line 1, we should give this a name. How do we name fish stuff? So boats, boat cargo. There we go. That's pretty close. This is going to be boat cargo, and we are in the town of Gwenlow, which is a play on words of Glasgow. And that is running at 194, way too much. Actually, what's this? It wants 100, right? So yeah, we don't need those two. Yeah, we can just run it with 3, and we'll manage the line and say, hey, when you're at the fish farm, please wait until you are full. And there we go. So we have that happening. So they'll come across and they will dock into, I forget which dock they're coming to. That's good. It's not going to hit that ship. Looks pretty good. And yeah, so they're all queuing up. Who's doing what? Okay, so it will fix itself up. All right, so let's give this place some actual fish stocks. I'm going to extend the dock out the end. So under assets, if I press the right button, this is going to be an Ingo thing, and then under fishes, what I want is, when it's obviously going to be these agricultural things, and so we'll do it with Yeah, with decoration. Do I want to make these huge? Yeah, let's make these huge. The ones below, the ones down south were a bit smaller. Let's do 150s. So we'll put one there and one there. We have more floating jetty, which is going to be useful. I am tempted to put these buoys out as like a protection thing. A cottage, yes. I might squeeze in this in the middle here. So we'll put this, yeah, about... Why is my rotation off? So where's the edge of the map? Come here. Yeah, you are not rotated normally, so there we go. That's now rotated normally because we put down this asset on the right axis. So we'll put that there. Breakwater, so that's a tree trunk thing. That's not going to help us. Trees and trees. All right, so where is my assets? I think underwater, if we choose Ingo, we can choose it this way. And we get different stuff. Nope, it's the same stuff. Well, we have fishes here. We have to do that. Let's do a quick little motorboat. Yeah, that can go there. And I'm going to put one over... Yeah, I suppose I can put one in here. And what we'll do is we'll make sure that the fish nets aren't too close. And that's how they're like getting ahead to work. How do I get more jetties? More jetties. These are real ones. I don't want real ones. What I want is... Well, here's the fish. Let's do some fish. So we'll do them barely below the sea level. And so that way we can see them. So 0.5. And we'll just do a huge amount. So let's make this one red salmon. I'm actually going to put lots in here. And then we'll put some... Actually, they are a bit high. Let's get rid of some of these. All right, that's much better. I've done it at different levels. And yeah, I'm sprinkling 1s and 2s. I think that looks pretty good. Let's do the same thing on this side. So a couple of 2s. .5s, 1s, and 0.5 is too much. All right, that's pretty cool. So let's get the jetty in. I've worked out where it is. It's over here. Height from water level. So what I want is, do I want it to be like similar to that? Yeah, I think this one's pretty good. So let's bring it up a little bit. Yeah, and we'll have another big thing over here, and then we'll do that again. And do I want to go sideways? So yeah, I like the idea that these are on these things. Now, what we could do in the future, much like in Farming Sim, is we actually could bring out some type of food out here. That would be kind of cool, I think. We could say, hey, for these to exist, they need to be fed. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, then that's cool, that's cool. And then we'll put another type of boat over here. Actually, what we could do is put one of those. We have actually a spare riggy. So in goes car thing, ship, and then a riggy, which is this one. Oh, close enough. That can be there. And so let's get that lined up nicely. I like it. You know, the last thing to do is shove in a whole lot of fish. And done. All filled up. I like it. Welcome to Highlands Fishing Transport Fever 2 edition. I think that looks fantastic. It's very similar to what Farming Simulator has. I mean, surprise, surprise, you're modeling the same thing. Like how we've got a dock and for deliveries, and then maybe a dock for for the output stuff, and I think the pens look pretty good. The fish barely moving, but they are, and I'm quite happy with yeah, the way that's turned up. And so did this guy have any? Yeah, it had 70 in it. And if we click on the right thing, you can see there's 8 on the terminal. I do like the graphics. I think the fish icons, or the little boxes, look great. And so we'll finish this off by putting a person on there. We've got to give this guy a worker, and we'll have a captain standing. Let's get you up to the height of this. So he's watching everything work. Let's get his feet correct. It's really hard to get right sometimes. And I don't think any of these little assets are useful. Actually, you know what? I think I might put that. Do I want to put that anywhere? I don't know why that would be there, but that's going to go there. And we'll put a stool on here. Looks like these levels are a little bit off sometimes. And I think we are good. Oh, that's what I should use for the boat. That's fantastic. It's about half an hour later. I have been having fun with detailing, getting the last final details applied to everything. The fish is flowing. As you can see, these guys are waiting for their full loads. We've had a couple of laps so far, and they are going pretty well. Let's watch one come into the port. We'll speed this up. Over at the port, actually we'll do that first. Over at the port, I've done a little bit of detailing. I swapped in those scaffolding things and re-put the boat here and changed around the ladders and gave us a bit more space and put a wall up, and obviously a little bit of painting of the trees, and put in some fences along the line around here and around there, just that V. And I think it looks pretty good. Over here at the canning factory, I put down a couple of forklifts. My thinking is that these guys are forking these around to the back in these doors, and then this is the outbound type stuff. I think that looks pretty good. And the last thing I did was I put down these key buffers. So by default, when you put down, actually, before we go too far, let's watch this guy go in. Yeah, so that buoy has made it quite a nice track in there. Looks pretty good. Looks like it's in the middle, so when it comes out the other direction, it's pretty good. If we watch this dock, comes in underneath the crane, which looks awesome. And then on the way out, slow this down, you can see that that one kind of gets clipped, but I think it's as good as it gets. And out they go. Haven't got any traffic across the swinging bridge at this point. They do clip through each other, like the boats don't stop for the trains and vice versa. So I am inclined not to use that right now. That gets really close. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. Yeah, so with these keys, when you put down this asset, the big train thing under here, when you put down one of these, it doesn't come with the buffers, and so these things at the end, so you have to put these down manually. So you just go into the assets, choose this and go buffers, and then we just line them up on the rails. It all snaps happily. So obviously there's a limitation about what they can place in the game when it comes to putting down this asset to do with trains and what they can do with the buffers. But you know what? I think that has been a fantastic episode. I really enjoyed putting in the cannery. I like the idea that this guy is going to make a new product for us rather than just bread. I assume, because this is overwhelmed, where is it? You can see that we've got lots and lots of fish in here. I assume this half of the spawn point will be fish, and this half will be where steel would be kept, which is awesome. I like the idea of maybe bringing steel not only to here, but maybe we'll put a steel input over here as well at the shipyard. I like the shipyard. I think it came out really well. I'm really glad that I was able to squeeze it out here in the river, and then in between those shots, I shoved down these piers. These piers are just from here. This is the quayside bank. I shoved it down, and then what you can do is actually by default it has the track on it. You actually can, if you get your mouse in the right spot, you can get rid of the track. So that's what I did to make these nice and clean. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good. And yeah, I think overall this whole area has come out awesome. So we'll leave the episode there. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to press like if you enjoyed this video. Press subscribe to see more of this action. And don't forget to put a comment below telling me what you want to see next. I actually don't have that many ideas about what I want to do next. I think I want to be in this area though, so maybe some industry to do with this area of the map, risky around what would normally be Glasgow, with the fictitious Glasgow, Edinburgh / Glenlow, Asbridge River going through. So maybe something on the river might be cool. Yeah, if you've got any ideas, shove them down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time as we play Errors.